Um, right now, due to this unfortunate incident that happened with Kobe, the NBA, even as we speak right now, are having meetings and discussion about expanding the trade deadline, extending it rather, because teams, you don't want to trade a guy in an emotional state, and have guys move, from one team to another. Yeah, it is a business, but it's too soon. So they're thinking about, type of, should they expand it or give them more time. I don't know how people are going to be after a week, but it's going to be hard to move people around in the midst of, you know, a Kobe Bryant memorial taking place, as people are getting ready for this. And I'm quite sure they might want to have it at Staples. So this is it's a very difficult time for a lot of people, and because it's a difficult time for a lot of people, um, the NBA is aware of that, and they have been tremendous at the sensitivity level um, involved in this situation. Um, you've had people such as Charles Barkley come out and make a statement that it's time to get back to playing basketball. And I understand what Charles means. Like, people got to get back to healing, get back to their usual day to day. Because when you don't do that, it creates a disdain or some type of just wallowing in the pain, and you don't want to wallow in the pain, not at all. So I understand what Charles meant by that, but it's hard to do when you're getting back to your normal day to day. Then you got to turn around and boom, here comes a memorial that's going to bring you right back down. So to have a trade deadline and people moving players and all of these different things at the same said time, it's a bit of a headache, and you want to be able to, um, try to navigate this as much as possible. Um, I can tell you right now, because you guys, donate to the page. Some of you do, and hit the Cash App up. For all the rest of you, Carcino's the name on the Cash App. Um, Spencer Dinwiddie, a lot of people are thinking he's going to be moved, from the Brooklyn Nets. He's very unhappy. And before all this news hit, I was in the course of making the video about that because they had a talk with him and he was a starter and now they moving him to the bench. And he's not a guy that's played enough to be on the bench. And the relationship with him and Kawhi is, and Kyrie, sorry about that, him and Kyrie is zero to non-existent. And there's been a lot of discomfort in how Kyrie plays the game and how it's hindering his success. The success that he had last year before Kyrie was there, and then you get to see what he does and the production he puts up when Kyrie is not in the game. So who knows when Durant comes back what the lineup is going to really look like then when you have two players that's mostly isolation players. And then you have a player such as himself trying to find his role on a team. So he might be one of the players that are moved now that they've had this talk with him and then they put him on the bench because there's been a lot of discord going back and forth between the players. So Well, the world is at a standstill right now, and when I say the world is at a standstill, that's exactly where it is, a standstill. So I've been doing a little better. Each day you do better with it. I'm like, man, it's hard to believe. It's like after the initial shock of the day, Sunday and Monday, you're right back to your routine as long as not watching the news too much, and life is starting to move on, and but it's never gonna move on for Kobe and his family. But this trade deadline, there's a lot of like teams out there, positioning to do some things for their team and make final decisions and stuff like that. And with this kind of news happening right at the trade deadline, it is the perfect time for a discussion of it. So, everybody on YouTube Premiere, kind of curious right now. Who do you think, in your estimation, should be top dog? Like, who should be the biggest trade piece right now? Can you imagine the Lakers trading Kyle Kuzma with all this going on right now? You see what I'm saying? And to me, he's not even the biggest piece. And because it's the Lakers, they make Kyle Kuzma out to be the real biggest trade deal in the history of trades. Because it's the Lakers. It's like he's the main piece. To me, the main piece that's out there sitting around is Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala is a player that's can instantly change your team. He can change your bench defensively, offensively, ball handling. You have a decision maker out there on the court. Granted, he has not played since last season for the Golden State Warriors. But believe me, Andre is still in shape. He could play. He can get out there and perform and come off the bench. He could start if he needed to. He's a guy that can facilitate and be an instant impact on any team that he's on. So, a lot of people saying that they're making trades for D'Angelo Russell and Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. Now, here's the thing. If you're the 76ers, you've seen what Joel Embiid brings you. You've seen what Ben Simmons brings you. Those two don't get along. Their games don't complement each other because he's not a scorer from the outside. Joel Embiid likes to score on the inside, and Ben Simmons is a guy who scores in transition. Is one of the reasons why LeBron James have never played with a dominant center, because his game would not fit with a guy that plays in the post. He can't play with a guy that's dominant in the paint. He needs guys that be all on the outside taking jump shots while the big guys basically facilitate. That's why when Chris Bosh got there, Bosh had to change his game. Instead of him being a guy in the post waiting for the ball that wasn't never going to come, and posting up down in the blocks, he had to be a guy that was out 15 feet and just make a short range game, and start pulling up for jump shots more and just being a garbage man, basically for the team, and alter his game so that they could actually win championships. Um, it's a lot of different things that goes along in the process. So when you see all these other guys who are in each other's way, like Simmons and Joel Embiid, it creates an influx of issues. You know, you have a mountain of issues that transpire with one another. Guys can't get out of each other's way. Then it's just one big headache after another. You know, so I understand what some people say when they say, "Oh, did you know that such and such did this?" And it? I get it. You know, it's the excitement of having them there and being a big name in the trade. But would you trade D'Angelo Russell for Ben Simmons if you're the Golden State Warriors? Because basically, Ben Simmons is Draymond Green without a jump shot. You know, and Draymond is a guy that scores in a system. You know, Draymond is not the kind of guy you just put on the team and yeah, he's going to help you defensively, but if the guys don't know how to play or they're just young and this is the elite level when you've been playing in championships for the past 5 years and now you are playing against a team that, you know, with players that are just like first or second year in the league and they're learning on a fast a fast level. You know, people are looking at Draymond like, okay, Draymond's time for you to score 30 now. They're out. It's like, look, that's not Draymond's game. And that's not what the Warriors want Draymond to do. They want him to teach. They got him on the court teaching guys what they should do, how they should be. And players have actually gotten better on the Warriors. It's just that D'Angelo Russell is already set in his ways. He plays one way, one speed, and he's up and down. He's not a guy that's gonna, run off picks and curls and run loops, and he's not gonna be that guy at all. He can't do it. He tried. It doesn't work with him and Steph. They've tried to work with him. You know, he's not Clay at all, and he's D'Angelo Russell. And in some teams that would work, but it's not Warriors basketball. And I thought maybe he had another element to his game. He does not. So it's not a blow or a bad look on him. What it actually is that's just how he plays. Oh, great. Someone else is sending me a message. Hopefully it's no more Kobe news. I don't need any more Kobe news. Oh, wow. Well, anyway, situations always change. They go crazy. People do amazing things, you know. So that's just that. There are other teams and other players that got pieces that could be moved, and it's going to be just difficult to move them during the situation here. So the NBA is doing the right approach right now, thinking about moving the trade deadline or giving them a little bit more time. So we'll see how that transpires. But that's a good move from Adam Silver. I'm 100% with it. Anyway, don't forget to support the page. Carcino's the name on the Cash App. You know, you guys donate enough, we'll go live, do video live chats, you know, the works.